tune in. It's time for Common Man. Common man. Challenge the housewives like no one can. What you shoot?
Word we play.
Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in. It's time for Common Man.
Oh, boy. Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
Quack, quack.
Rocky?
Welcome back to the spotlight, young man.
I gotta tell you this, all right? I ran all the way here because I thought I would be talking to the common guy. Let me tell you something. Only because the guy's fucking, I mean, he's nuts. Every time I listen to the radio, that guy's nuts.
Well, it's good to hear. I'll have to pass along that you're a fan of the common man.
Well, I ain't necessarily a fan, but I want to tell the guy he's nuts.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Very funny. Very funny.
Tell you hunted man, you haven't hunted yet.
Tampa Bay.
You're gonna win this election for Paul Wellstone. We are gonna win this election for Paul Wellstone. We are gonna win this election for Paul Wellstone.
And listen to Cooley.
Is wearing women's underwear part of your training?
Yeah, baby.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes, I do.
We're happy for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing what a sophisticated offensive game plan looks like. You talk about...
Rosa, you don't know nothing.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north.
No.
This is the common man, Dan Cole.
But I'm not first in the north anymore. That was for 1 week. We slipped a little the next week, going to be. But we're still, if I don't mind saying so myself, and I don't mind saying so myself, we're still breaking records. From noon to 3, and I owe it all to you. Well, not all of it, but a goodly portion of it. You know, the beauty of the world of sports is your whole life just sports. There's always something to talk about. Sometimes there's too much to talk about. For instance, like, it's been brought to my attention that there's a quarterback in this town that's struggling, and he's been receiving a lot of attention because of that. It's Packer week. Vikings take on the Packers take on the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. We got a programming predicament. Both the Wild and the Wolves play tonight. The Minnesota Twins make a big trade. Oh, it's really not big, but they made a trade. I think the Frost begins. Do they begin play soon?
That's got to be coming up here, yeah.
Because my wife asked me, at her place of employment, they are allowed to wear on Fridays like sports stuff if a certain team is like. And so she said, she asked me if I had any Frost swag. And I said no, though I did give Deuce a Frost stocking hat that I have. So Deuce has that, and I suppose but I don't think Potato wants to wear a stocking cap at work. But I think the Frost begin play.
Yeah, we're 2 days away.
Yeah, we're 2 days away. And of course, we're about a year and a half away from professional volleyball, which I really want to dive into with a little bump set spike. With all of those topics to get to, you know me, I there's a lot of indecision in my life. I'm not even sure where to begin. So let's go to the handy-dandy, reliable, old faithful Wheel of Topics. Abbott said there must have been frost today. That's what he said. There
Commons golf games.
Oh, there was no frost today.
What did you shoot today?
Conditions were ideal, 38 degrees with overcast skies. I shot a 77 Sunset Strip.
Where'd we play?
Oak Marsh. So it's a par 70. So
Where'd
it's
you hit
7
it on?
over.
One.
Hit it right up the gut.
Second shot?
I hit a real nice hybrid to... It pulled that a little left.
Right or left?
A little left.
How far from the green?
I had 91, I think, to the flag.
Then what?
Hit my 50-degree, three-quarter knockdown to about 15 feet.
Then what?
Just missed the putt. Incredible. I think it's been well established that I'm really good at putting the golf ball. Matter of fact, I think it's sort of it varies from round to round. I'm anywhere from 60% to 80%. I'm a better putter than 60 to 80% of the players on tour, depending upon the round. Today it was closer to 85. I mean, I missed a couple of putts too, but I made so many key putts where I thought I was going to let the round completely get away. I had a J.J. McCarthy moment on 16. I pushed my drive right. I was on top of a grassy knoll. And, of course, first thing I'm thinking about is the last golf ambassador was assassinated on a grassy knoll. So I'm looking left, I'm looking right, but there's nobody there. I hit a 5-iron from there, and I don't hit it real well. So now I didn't want to hit a hybrid from one of those mounds because it was kind of it was in the rough. It wasn't a good lie, and I didn't want to. But now I have to hit a hybrid to get to the green. And the only way I could describe my pass is, do you remember that, or my shot? Do you remember that pass McCarthy threw to Jefferson? Well, I think he was throwing it to Jefferson. Nobody's really sure. Do you remember that pass? That was more accurate than my hybrid. I hit it off the toe. It went so far right, and all. You know when you hear it hit the tops of bushes? That.
I'm very familiar with that sound.
It's like, well, there goes the round. I take my drop, knock it on the green, 2-putt, make a double on a par 5. My second double of the day. So I'm 7 over with 2 to go. Par 3, 17th. I come out of that one as well. That's off the toe. I slice that right of the green. I got a 35-yard wedge that I hit about 20 yards. I've got 20 feet to save par, and I make it. 18, I dead pull my drive left into the marsh. I take my drop, hit it to 12 feet, and make the 12-footer for par. So there were a lot of highs, a handful of lows, but we had a lot of fun. And so, it's bonus golf is really what it is. And so just keep that in mind. And always remember this, Tennessee. Good is the enemy of great. But mediocre is the enemy of good.
Brilliant! Brilliant!
Thank you. Good is the enemy of great, because that's what Abbott will always say. I said, well, we're doing pretty good. Good is the enemy of great. All right, well, then mediocre is the enemy of good.
And I adore Chad Abbott, by the way.
Yeah,
I adore him.
And so does Paul Charchian. So there we go. Speaking of the quarterback, you sent me... Do you have that in front of you? Because I can't find my phone right now. What was that statistic?
We can maybe just save it for Peek at the Purple.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that. There's a statistic that's a bit... Well, it's all alarming at this point in time, right? There's just nothing...
But it's nice to get a little bit more specific on what we should be alarmed about.
Yeah, and we will do that. So it's Rock Talk, and I think we're going to do Rock Rank, and Rock Talk this week. And is Oak now moved then to 1:30?
I didn't even communicate that with him, so I don't know what time he's showing up. I should probably ask.
Why don't you see? Because I believe the head coach is scheduled for 12:30 or 12:45.
12:45.
Head coach for 12:45. So we'd certainly like to do Rock Talk and Rock Rank with a closed circuit to Brian Oak. painstaking planning really isn't my strength. I forgot too, and I should have told him that it was not going to be 12:30 today, unless he wants to come on 12:30 to 12:50, and then we do the coach, and then he can come back and do like part 2. But I think it's probably better going at 1:30. Mark Rosen will join us at about 2 o'clock. Plenty to get to today here on the Common Man program, right here on the Fan.
Aquarius Home Services has your shot at 4 tickets to see Green Bay take on the Purple in early January, plus $500 in game day cash. Register for your chance to win today at KFAN.com/furnace.
This sounds almost Alan Parsons Project-like. What's the name of this ditty?
Crowd pressure.
Crowd pressure. Under pressure. Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's 10 to B. Brian Oak is going to join us about 1:20, and then he's going to hang for another segment after that. We got the head coach at 12:45 or so. So this will be, I don't know if we do a short segment here, a long segment. I don't know how we work it anymore.
I'll play music when you should go to break. How about that?
Yeah, let's do that. And then Mark Rosen just before 2 o'clock. Time now for Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. If you're planning a kitchen or basement remodel, let the pros at Affordable Electric handle the wiring. They can do it safely, neatly, and maybe as important as anything, up to code. They work directly with homeowners and contractors all across the Twin Cities metro to keep every project on schedule. Affordable Electric, where quality meets affordability. Visit affordableelectric.com today. This is my favorite part. Affordable-electric.com. Visit them today, and remember, they are shockingly affordable. Yes. It always, I don't even need the rolled up athletic socks anymore to elevate my scrotum. All I have to do is play the negatrometer with Affordable Electric, and that'll do the same thing. You had that statistic for me regarding we know the trials and tribulations of one J.J. McCarthy so far. He's had his moments. He's had a handful of good moments. Fourth quarter of the Bears game, and then the last drive against the most recent Bears game. Other than that, it's been a lot of hit and miss, with more miss than hit. But what was there's some...
So it started from Ted Wynn, who was a senior writer at The Athletic, and he tweeted, and this was actually during the game the other day, he tweeted, J.J. McCarthy's struggles throwing left shows up over and over again. Missed a wide open receiver earlier too. A fantasy football analyst that I follow quote tweeted that and said, J.J. McCarthy has a 56% catchable throw rate when throwing to his left. No other quarterback is below 68%.
So it's a 50-50 chance. It's 6-7. It's 50-50.
Yeah.
It's 50-50.
So apparently he can't throw to his left.
You can't hit the ball to the left. In golf, you just can't, no matter how hard you've tried, you just continue to hit it right. It's not good. We'll see if it gets any better this week. If you remember, even last week I picked the Vikings to beat the Bears, and I said as we closed out our show to the haunting strains of whatever, to Jimmy Durante in Good Night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are, adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, the Lawrence Welk song, and then of course Jimmy Durante at the very end. And I said, I think McCarthy's going to play better this week. That's what I actually said. And I actually believed it. And maybe some of it was wishful thinking. Part of it, too, is, sometimes you think it can't get any worse, right? But we'll see. It's Packer week. The Packers, again, they've shown signs of being a really good football team this year. They've also shown signs of being a very mediocre team. It seems like there's only a handful of teams in the NFL where you go, that team is really, really good. And I think the Eagles are one of those teams. The Rams are one of those teams. Patriots seem to be one of those teams. I guess you could put Denver in that category, even though they've had to pull the fat out of the fire on a number of occasions. And now Baltimore.
It might be one of these years when you get to the playoffs, like anybody can win.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I really believe that. And because I just don't think you're seeing any teams with any real consistency except for the ones I just mentioned. And there might be another team or two out there as well. I guess Seattle, until Darnold did not play very well against the Rams this past Sunday. So I just don't know. Someone sent a text, is McCarthy a bust? I still think it's too early to determine that. I think if you force me to say either yes or no, I guess I'd say yes, just from what I've seen, but 5 games isn't very much. Many fans that texted us on the Bradshaw and Bryan KFAN text line are getting exactly what they were asking for earlier in the year. When Wentz was still playing and McCarthy had the sprained ankle, high ankle sprain, and you and I were saying, well, Wentz, he gives you the best chance to win right now because McCarthy hasn't played very well and he's hurt, and people didn't want to hear that. All they wanted to do was they wanted to see McCarthy because they said, we're not going to win the big game this year, so we may as well see what we've got. Well, we're seeing what we got now, and it's going to be like that, I'm assuming, for the last, we have 7 games left, including this one? I think, yes, we're 4-6. We have 7 games remaining, so I think we'll find out more.
How far until that same group, then how long until that same group goes? Max Brosmer, we got to see what we got.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know what we got with Max Brosmer.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we talked about it yesterday. It's kind of it's sort of a delicate balancing act. I think the kid McCarthy doesn't seem to lack for confidence, and I don't, but again, I've never talked to him personally, and we don't know, most athletes put on a public persona that's always, they try to exude confidence, exude positivity, right? And they try to they want the media and the fan base to feel like all is well with the world, right? And so but there is the risk of, if you pull them out and play Brosmer, that all of a sudden the kid's like, wow, they don't believe in me anymore, and I don't know if I believe in myself. Now, I don't know if he would get that way, and it's a big boy sport. There's a lot at stake. There's careers and reputations and wins and losses in an ownership group that's probably sick and tired of being sick and tired of really a couple of playoff wins since they've owned the team. I think the Wilfs have owned the team for pretty near 20 years now.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're losing a lot of, when you're having a lot of losing seasons, or maybe not having losing seasons, because the Vikings have had a number of winning seasons under the Wilfs. It's just never ended with hoisting the Lombardo.
It's weird because we viewed them as good owners.
Yes.
And yet, what has that really gotten them from a win-loss standpoint?
Yeah, it hasn't. So, I don't know. I keep my fingers crossed, because you've heard me say this so many different times, Tenneby. If you have a young quarterback that you believe is going to be your franchise quarterback, it can set the franchise back a couple, 3 years, maybe more, because, look at Trevor Lawrence has been playing how many years? Is he in his 5th or 6th year?
Yeah, I would say he's in that range.
And during his time, he's had his moments, but the team is never.
No, I don't even know if they've gotten the playoffs there. Maybe 1 year.
Yeah, exactly. And so then it's like, well, that's a half a decade is gone. We're only 5 weeks, five games into his career, but all of last year, he was injured. So let's say this year is kind of like this, and he gets a little better, and then you got to go probably all of next year, and then you might have to go another year after that. And if he's not the guy, then you start all over again. So it can be an excruciatingly long process. We'll break. We'll come back. Head coach about 12:45 live from Winter Park. Peek at the Purple, brought to you by Affordable Electric for all of your electrical needs. It's affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. And remember, Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. Back with more after this here on The Fan.
KFAN welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra for 2 amazing shows at Target Center on December 28th at 3 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. Get complete show details, including a link to buy tickets at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
2 shows one night.
Correct. One day, I guess, technically.
2 shows
3
one
and 7:30.
day. 3 and 7:30. Think any of the members of the trumpet playing band will have to do load management? I can't make the second one.
They'll be tuckered.
I'm so tired of blowing my own horn that I just couldn't make it. Of course, it's an orchestra. Do they have horns in an orchestra, or is that strictly...
Yeah, I think that's
Or is that strictly
more strings.
Violins,
Yeah.
violas, cellos,
It's a bass.
bass, violins. I hear it's a really good show. They're back year after year. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra has been around forever. And you talk about, now I don't know when they'll arrive here for the show, but you talk about jet lag and circadian rhythms when they're coming from Siberia. That's a long way, right?
I always love that one.
Well, Siberia is like, isn't that like the northernmost part of the USSR? I think that's where Siberia is, I think. Or is that where the Russian front is?
It's a vast geographical region in Russia that covers most of northern Asia.
Yeah.
Stretching from the Ural Mountains in the west to the Pacific Ocean in the east.
And it's cold up in them thar hills.
Sure.
So that's a long way to travel. How far? I mean, was it about 6 hours? No, wait, that's the distance from Seattle to Tampa Bay or Green Bay.
I guess it depends where in Siberia,
Well, yeah,
right? If you're the
right.
further east, if you're the eastern point that is just like a couple miles from Alaska, that's not as bad.
Well, where are they based? They're based out of Trans-Siberia. So Trans must...
Is that the name of the city?
I think it must be. So
Okay.
if you could just Google Trans-Siberia and then find out how far of a trip it is.
It's over 13.1 million square kilometers, so 5.1 million square miles. It's about 3/4 of Russia's total area.
That's jet lag. That's circadian rhythms. That's body clock. That's time zones. I mean, Siberia is probably 5 time zones on its own.
Oh, I bet way more than that, I bet.
You think maybe 6, 7? Maybe 6, 7? I thought of that today when I couldn't decide if I was going to hit a 6 or 7 today. I said to myself, and my bag was sitting. I carry my bag, by the way. I don't have a push cart, and I actually did it, and I don't know why. I guess just to amuse myself. My bag was sitting next to me, and I was wondering if I should hit a 6 or a 7. So I should say it's either 6, 7. I did the hand thing. I went
to yourself.
Yeah, I said it's 6, 7. So I saw the Wild are playing tonight. They're playing the Hurricanes, and I see they're at home. And the Hurricanes, I dialed up I on my handheld. One of the stats it had win probability. It says the Hurricanes have a 60% win probability. So I think, how the hell can that? We're 6-1-1 in our last 7. We're red hot. Much like the fan is, red hot. If you'd like to advertise, contact this radio station or the Radio Advertising Bureau. And lo and behold, I see the Hurricanes are a really good team. They are. They played 19 games. They're 13-5-1 and have 27 points. Deadlocked with the Debs, and just ahead of the Pens and the Island Girls. And is this embarrassing? Since when has there been a Metropolitan Division in the Eastern Conference? I had no idea that they
It's
have
been that way for a while.
a Metropolitan Division.
Yeah, because we're in the Central Division.
Eastern Conference has a Metropolitan Division. Then there's an Atlantic Division. No idea. I had no idea. And then like you used to say, we're in the Central, and then there's the Pacific.
So that changed at the start of the 2013-2014 season.
I guess I haven't been paying as close attention to the National Hockey League as I once did, because I had no idea why I started to try. But what is that?
Because if you recall, before then, we were in the Northwest Division. So we had the same, we were like with Vancouver and Edmonton and Calgary.
How bitter are you about tonight's start? Why is it that on the West Coast, they have their game start at 7 or 7:30?
Yeah.
They don't acquiesce and make the times easier for. But is this Minnesota nice? Okay, we'll start at 8. Is it 8 or 8:30?
Well, it says 8:30, but my sources tell me opening faceoff is until 8:55, so it's deceiving.
Okay, but even at 8:30, you're saying why do we just bend over for the rest of the country and go? Well, you know what? 8:30. So you want us to start at 8:30? Okay, we'll make everybody else happy. What about the fan base here that doesn't want to wait till 8:30 or 8:55 and get to bed at midnight? I can understand if you're doing it when we're over on the West Coast, okay? Because you have to placate the locals, right? I think that I'm going to use the word acquiesce again. I acquiesce to the locals, okay? If we're playing on the West Coast, they want to start their game at 7, which means we start at 9. That's okay. I get it because, why should they have to start at 5 o'clock in the afternoon to make sure we get a 7 o'clock start? But when we're playing in the Twin Cities...
And we're playing an East Coast team. It's going to be 9:55 their time.
Why are they doing this? Is it because...
It's all national television related. It's on TNT tonight. But I would still argue your local markets now are going to have games starting at 8:55 and 9:55. The rest of the country doesn't care about this game.
No, they don't care about
you're not picking it up on the other side now.
The only good thing, though, is on TNT because then we can watch Shaq, Kenny the Jet, Charles, and Ernie. So I always like getting the guys from TNT. We'll break. We'll come back, and when we do, the head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings will have his midweek news conference. That's next, right here on The Fan.